which is 352 Georgia Appeals 520.
From what year?
2019, Your Honor.
Okay.
And essentially that Georgia law generally precludes a witness from testifying.
Slow down.
Sorry.
Georgia law what?
Generally precludes a witness from testifying as to his or her opinion regarding an ultimate issue in the case, because to do so would invade the province of the jury. And so if you're trying to say he's an innocent man, that could be perceived that you're trying to invade what the jury ultimately has to decide about Mr. William or any of the defendants' guilt or innocence. And so I'm just bringing to the court's attention, I don't know how it's going to come in, but that is the state's concern regarding this posting.
Mr. Steele.
Your Honor, I could get a case, but lay people, by the way, can comment on an essential element if it's their observation, A, but B, it's for impeachment. I believe that Mr. Copeland, and I don't know what he's going to say. I have not spoken with him, but I believe that he has targeted Mr. Williams in that posting on June 27, 2024, saying that my conscience caught up with me and he's an innocent person. I believe that that can go to the jury the way it was said. I don't see any problem with that. It's a prior inconsistent statement because he's telling the jurors through 2015 video, audio, that Mr. Williams is the reason that the person's dead. Mr. Williams gave the order to kill Mr. Copeland, that all these people work for Mr. Williams. So I believe that it's critical, his state of mind. And the jurors obviously go to weight. I understand there's a 9-year difference, but it goes to weight.
Okay, so how is this a prior inconsistent statement? This was made subsequent to everything that I may just not be following you.
I understand. Prior inconsistent statement is anything prior to the trial of the case, but I could get you that case.
Okay, well, this is in the midst of the trial of the case.
Prior to testimony.
It's not prior to all of his testimony either.
I don't think it matters. You know, if he said to someone on the way in here, hey, what I said on the 2015 about being at the green store is not true, that comes in for impeachment. I asked him about it, then I could put up the person who he said it to. It does not matter. It's a prior statement that is inconsistent with what he said. So I feel very comfortable that that is the law. I tell him
it's not a prior statement. It can't possibly be a prior inconsistent statement if it's not a prior statement. This is not a statement he made prior to any of his 2015 statements to law enforcement.
Let me get you the case, but It does not have to be prior to the statement that you're impeaching. It's a prior statement of that witness. He made a prior statement on June 27, 2024 that is inconsistent with his previous statements, but I can get you those cases.
Okay, I don't know that it's inconsistent with his trial testimony, though. He's testified at trial. Everything I said to the police, I just said it because I wanted to get out of there and none of it was true. So this is not inconsistent with that either.
Well, it is for two reasons. I believe it's admissible. One, he's saying that what he said was about an innocent person, which is different than I just wanted to get out. So I was saying some truth and some non-truth. And second, it impeaches his 2015 statements.
It may do that.
And that's admissible. But let me get you a case instead of just me saying it's prior inconsistent statement.
Okay.
Let me just get you a case.
All right. Was there an objection other than?
Yes, Sean, because I don't believe it's a prior inconsistent statement based upon his testimony in trial. He made this post the beginning of his testimony. So he made this post, if it's on June 27th, he started testifying initially on June 6th, June 7th, before the 17th, prior to, that testimony not being included. And this is after that on the 24th, which this is consistent with what he said on the stand repeatedly to this jury over and over and over again that I lied on Thug. Thug hasn't done anything. I
You know,
made it-
I was just asking you, did you have an objection beyond or in addition to that? I didn't know if that was everything you were saying or.
That's
Okay.
it. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And then, Mr. Shart, did you have something?
Your Honor, it is my belief that Mr. Steele plans to play a phone call that Mr. Copeland is on with his sister. That's, I believe it's marked Jeffrey Williams 250B. My concern is from 1605 to 1629. There is a comment made by who I believe to be Mr. Copeland's sister, stating that she has heard that Shannon got shot at because he killed Nutt, is close to the quote. It's based on speculation and hearsay. It's obviously very prejudicial to my client. So I would ask that if Mr. Williams or if Mr. Steele, on behalf of Mr. Williams, is to publish JW 250B, that the times between 1605 and 1629 be redacted to take that segment out.
All right, any response, Mr. Steele? Any objection to that part coming out? Okay, thank you. All right, anything else? All right. Any other matters? Okay. All right, then let's get Mr. Copeland and the jury in.
All right, Missouri.
Thank you. All right, you may proceed, Mr. Steele.
Mr. Copeland, do you remember saying on when being asked questions by Ms. Hilton that Mr. Turner or Threat asked you to go with him and you and Mr. Turner fired ammunition or bullets into the barbershop of Rich Homiequan's father? You remember that?
Can you ask me again?
Yes, sir. Do you remember telling the jury that you and Mr. Turner, Threat, went to the barber shop of Rich Homie-Kwan's father and fired bullets into that barber shop?
What about it?
One more time.
What about it?
Do you remember saying that?
Out of frustration?
Yes.
Yes.
And when you did that, do you know whether there were people inside that barber shop at that time?
I don't recall.
Do you remember telling District Attorney Hilton before you started to testify on Friday, June 7th, 2024? I asked you this before, but I'm going to ask you again, okay? Before, when you first came into the jury to testify, before June 7th, 2024, so before that date. Do you remember telling District Attorney Hilton that there was a video of you and others saying, "We killed Nut" may exist? Do you remember saying that?
I don't recall.
Did you tell District Attorney Hilton that?
That's her what?
That there's a video with you and others admitting that you killed Donovan, Nut, but Donovan Thomas?
I can't remember if I told her.
All right, let me go into this. I want to ask you about Jeffrey Williams or JW. $240P as in perfect, and that states exhibit number 378YE. So, Mr. Copeland, that's going to be the June 10th, 2015 interrogation or interview with the police. And it's at 248:22 through 248:57. And this goes into you stating that when you pulled up, you told Deshawn is your child's mother, right? That's her
Right.
name? Okay. But I was like, she got in the car. She was at her friend's house. This is on January 10th, 2015. You're recounting. She got in the car. You said, "Man, these ends just killed Nut, bro." She like, "Who?" I told her it's Thug in them. She like, "Huh? What happened?" Like, SHI, I don't know. D just got in the car and like, SHI, boy, they just, you know what I mean? They just told me that. So she like, "What you gonna do?" "What the F you mean what I'm going to do? I ain't got nothing to do with this, SHI." She like, "Yeah, you know, like we all know they was gonna say my name." So I was like, "I don't know." So we got in the car and we rode home. Okay? I'd like you to listen to make sure I said that right, if you don't mind listening.
找我家的事， So my foot, they told what they tell I like, she got in the car, she was at her friend's house, she got in the car. And he need to chill play, bro. She like, who? I told her, she throw it in. She like, huh, what happened? I said, I don't know, DJ got in the car like shit. But it, you know what I mean? They told me like it. So she like, what you gonna do? I said, fuck you mean what I'm gonna do? I ain't had nothing to do with this shit. She like, yeah, you know it. Like, we all they gonna say my name. So I like, I don't know. So we got in the car, we drove home.
Did you hear that? Did I say it accurately?
Sound like it.
Okay. And do you remember telling the police that, and then they spoke with Ms. Quarterman or Deshawn? You're aware of that, you said earlier, right?
They did?
Yeah, you're aware that she would call them for you, text message them,
Oh, yeah.
collect calls. Never corroborated or never asked about that, right? As far as you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. All right. You know, may I have 1 second?
Sure.
I apologize. Sorry about that. Thank you, Your Honor. Okay. The next one, we discussed already, I believe. No one ever, you told the police that on June 10, 2015, that from the McDonald's, me and him get on the expressway, boom, and they are following y'all in the Nitro. Asked the detective, you said, yeah, no. They told us to follow them. So you're following them, the detective said, and you said, yeah. But when D told me this, Hell, no, I ain't fixing to follow them. But D didn't get out of the car with me, but I'm trying to trick D so I can see what the Hell is going on. Boom, so we follow them to Thug's house. They stayed downtown at the Sky House. I'm going to play for you, make sure that's right. Jeffrey Williams of JW 240Q, State's Exhibit number 378YE. It's the June 10th, 2015 interview. It's from 9:58:12 to 9:58:39.
So we gonna get on the spiller. Wait, are they following y'all? Nitro? Nah, they told us to follow them. Okay, so y'all follow them. Yeah, but when you told me, hell no, I ain't gonna follow them. But I had to even get out the cover. I'm trying to keep these I see what the hell going on. So we followed them to the door. They stayed downtown on the Sky House.
What I said, was that fairly accurate?
He said, I told you, I heard it, but man, I tell the police anything.
And the truth is, you didn't follow Jeffrey Williams to Sky House.
I don't remember that night. So much going on. I don't know what happened that night.
When I say follow to Jeffrey Williams Sky House from the McDonald's.
What I'm saying is, so much what happened that night. I can't say I was all over the place. I don't remember exactly what happened that night.
Let me ask you this. Did you ever drive by at any time, the scene where the barbershop is, where Donovan Thomas was shot and killed on January 10th, 2015?
What you mean?
Did you, at any time, I understand there was a lot going on, but did you drive by the scene? You know where Donovan Thomas was shot? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I
In
know
front
what
of
you're
Barber
talking
House.
about.
One more time?
I said, I know what you're talking about.
Okay. did you on January 10th, 2015, drive by that street where he was shot?
I can't recall.
Okay. Let's do this. Did the police, detectives, federal, anybody, district attorney's office ever come to you and inquire of you whether or not your phone records show from the McDonald's area, cell phone tower, to the Sky House? Did they ever ask you about your phone records to see if it tracks what you told the police?
They never told me nothing about my phone at all.
Okay. All right. I want to talk with you about the meeting with Detective Thorpe. So it's about 7-8 hours after the shooting of Donovan Thomas, January 11th, 2015. Your Honor, this is Jeffrey Williams, or JW 241D, as in David. And this is State's Exhibit number 378YA, as in Elisa. It's 3:18:50 a.m. to 3:20:42 a.m. And Mr. Copeland, if you could just listen for this, and if I said it wrong, just tell the jurors I got it wrong. You're in with Detective Thorpe, January 11, 2015, and Detective Thorpe is asking you, who is Walter Lee Maddox? And you said, who? Walter Lee Maddox, the detective said. You said, I don't know. Nickname? Detective said, did you all ever rent or own an Infiniti? You said an Infiniti. Detective Thorpe said, did you all ever rent or own one of those cars before? You say no. You deny it. Detective Thorpe said, have you been stopped in an Infiniti before? You said, have I? No. Detective Thorpe said, have you been stopped in an accident in an Infiniti? You said no. Detective Thorpe said something, I don't know, you could tell us if you can recognize it. You said, have I ever had a car break-in? No, let me think. You talking about this year? Detective Thorpe said, anytime. You said, I had a car break in a Pontiac. That was a couple of years ago. Detective Thorpe asked you, what kind of car does your brother drive? You said a white Dodge Charger. That's the truck he gave me. You said, Detective Thorpe rather said, does your brother got two cars? You says, nah, his girl got a car, and that the car he got, the Dodge Charger, and she got the ugly little Malibu, like 19 something. Detective Thorpe said a 2014 Dodge Charger. You said yes. Detective Thorpe said white. You said yes. Who drives a Nissan? Detective Thorpe asked. You said a Nissan, what color? Detective Thorpe said it is gray. You said, I don't drive no Nissan. Detective Thorpe said, okay, y'all ever have an Infiniti gray Q45 before? You said a truck. Detective Thorpe said no. You said a car, not that I know of. I want you to listen to this if you don't mind. Tell me if I did that wrong.
Who's Walter Lee Maddox? Who? Who's Walter Maddox? Huh? No nickname? Did y'all ever rent or own an Infiniti? Infiniti. Y'all ever rent one of those cars before? Have you ever been stopped in an Infiniti before? Have I? Yeah. Had an accident in an Infiniti? No. The maximum? Have I ever had a car again? Mm-hmm. No. Let me think. Did you? Anytime. I had a car wreck in that Pontiac. That was a couple years ago. I ain't had no car wreck. I ain't had no wreck. I ain't had none of it. What kind of car your brother drive? Who was that in there? A white Dodge Charger. This truck car he gave me. Your brother got two cars? Nah, his girl got a car, and the car he got the Dodge Charger. Okay. Then she got this little ugly little Malibu, like a 19 something. 2014 Dodge Charger? Yeah. gray, a gray Infiniti Q45 before? A truck? No. A car? Yeah. Not I know of.
Were you able to hear that, sir?
I think we all heard.
Okay, similar to what I said?
Huh?
Similar to what I said?
I guess.
Okay. Mr. Copeland, you referred to Detective Thorpe as a squirrel brain. Do you remember that earlier in the testimony? Do you remember saying something like that?
Yeah.
And by approximately 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, January 11, 2015, so within 8 hours approximately of Mr. Donovan Thomas being shot, Detective Thorpe is asking you specific pointed questions about you in a rental gray Infiniti sedan. Do you realize that?
You said, do I realize it?
Yeah,
What you mean?
that's what he was doing. You understand that he was asking you about a rental Infiniti within 8 hours of the shooting of Donovan Thomas.
Right.
And you denied any dealing with an Infiniti vehicle rental, right?
Right.
And that's not true, right?
What you mean?
You were dealing with a rental Infiniti vehicle.
I was?
Yeah, weren't you?
I don't recall.
The car that you were driving that Jeffrey Williams rented for you was, do you know that type of car that was? Or he testified to?
What about him renting the car for him?
Sustained.
Okay. The car you were driving that you announced that you gave to Threat or Mr. Turner, do you know what type of car, rental car that was?
No.
Okay. Okay. Did the police ever come back to you and ask you about Walter Lee Harvey again? To your knowledge?
I still don't know who that is.
Okay. Did the police ever come back to you and talk with you about wrecking that 2015 Infiniti vehicle besides this?
No.
Now, you have used other people's, like when other people rent cars, you know, Miss Quarterman mother rented cars, allowed you and Miss Quarterman to use, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Just do me a courtesy, I apologize, but for the court.
Oh, yes.
Okay. And that would be in Miss Quarterman's mother's name, the rental car. You're aware of that, right?
Right.
And I want you to listen to, if you don't mind, J.W. Jeffrey Williams 240R as in righteous, states exhibit number 378YE as in Aaron. It's also June 10th, 2015. Meeting or interrogation by the police, 11:33:17 a.m. to 11:34:10 a.m. And I'm just going to tell you and just make sure this is what it says. You said that I didn't break in these cars. I wasn't even with them. I just gave them the car. Detective said, but you said, but for what reason though? Because they was going to do some stupid SHI blank to get some money. Detective Dennis said something, I don't know what it is, so you could help us if you don't mind. You said, I knew they were fixing to go. Detective Gaither said, you knew they were going to do a job. You ain't what exact job it was. And then there's overlapping, meaning everyone's talking at one time. Detective Gaither said, but you know what an effing job is. You said, I just. Detective Gaither says, you know they ain't going to church. You said, I was just looking at like SHI. I ain't doing it. I ain't getting in trouble behind it. That's how I was really looking at it. Detective Gaither says, but you're still effing up Deshaun. Because if something else would have happened in that effing car, that truck is in her mama's name. Detective Dennis said, what if they did a robbery? You said, like I told them. Detective Gaither said, and it's the first report. Detective Dennis said, right. Detective Gacy said, we found. Detective Dennis said, we ain't even check. And you said, what I'm saying, no. What I'm saying, I already told them. I said, look, y'all, this car is Deshaun Mama name. You feel what I'm saying? I just said it like that. I said, it's in her mama name. She's gonna tell the police if y'all do anything. I did it. And I'm saying, y'all, I ain't going down for nobody else. I told her just like that. Just listen to it, make sure that what I said was fairly accurate.
That ain't my fault that you did that. Hey, no, I didn't bring any car. I wasn't even with them. I just stayed in the car. But for what reason though? Because you knew they was going to do some stupid shit to get some money. I knew they was going to go. You knew they was going to go to jail. You ain't know how they back jug was, but you know what the fucking jug is. You know they ain't going to church. I know what they did. I just looking at it like shit. I ain't doing it. I ain't gonna get in trouble for that. That's how I'm just looking at it. But you can still fucking up their shot or something else would happen in that fucking car. That truck is in her mama's name.
What if they did a robbery?
Like I told him. And this is the first report run. We found.
They can check on
What I'm saying, I told him, I said, look, the car that your mama name. You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, I said, your mama name. She don't tell the police, if y'all do anything, I did. And I'm letting y'all know I'm going out for nobody else. I told him just like that.
Is it fair what I said? That's what you all are talking about?
That's what it sounds like.
So even though it was, and Deshaun and you have a special relationship. I mean, you share a child or children, right?
Yes, a child.
Okay. And you're aware that her mother is renting a car in her mother's name, letting you use it, and Deshaun, or excuse me, Miss Carterman. And it's used for criminal conduct by stealing people's cell phones, laptops, breaking into cars. You're aware of that, right?
I don't know.
You're aware on June 10, 2015, when the police came to arrest you, they searched that rental car in Deshaun Quarterman's mother's name and found other people's cellular telephones, laptops, identifications. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah, after they locked me up.
Okay. And you were involved in breaking into those cars and stealing, using her mother, Deshaun Quarterman's mother's rental car, right?
Objection, Your Honor. Assume effect's not in evidence.
Asking him a question.
I think he just answered it.
Right?
They charged me.
Okay. Why, I just ask you, why would you be entrusted by somebody? They were doing you a favor with a rental car in their name. Why would you go out and commit a crime while using someone else's rental car?
I don't get what you're asking me.
Did you ever think?
Seems that's not in evidence.
Did you ever think about the lives that you were affecting by committing crime in a rental car in someone else's name?
Objection, Your Honor. Assume effect's not in evidence. Rule 611, Rule 24-6-611.
How about relevance?
And relevance.
Did it ever occur to you that you can get other people in trouble?
Objection, relevance.
Sustained.
All right. I'd like to talk with you about Jeffrey Williams exhibit number 240S, as in Samantha. This is at State's exhibit number 378YE, as in Aaron. It's June 10, 2015 interrogation. It's at 10:00:31 a.m. to 10:00:46 a.m. And please listen and make sure that what I'm announcing is accurate. You're talking about, if you remember, and you'll listen to it, O.G. Bentley. Do you know the name Kelvin Treadwell? Do you know O.G. Bentley by a government name? Do you know who that person is?
I don't even know who OG Bentley is.
Okay, all right. Where you said, you feel what I'm saying? This is what D's saying. Bentley's supposed to went and hid the car and the guns. Detective said, where? You said, I ain't never heard it. Like they just cut me off. They seen all the police just kept coming at me, talking to me. I want you to listen to this if that's what you said, okay?
You know what I'm saying? This what he said. Bentley supposed to went to hit the car and the guns. Where I ain't never heard. Like they just cut me out. Like they seen our police just kept coming at me and talking to me.
Did the police or the prosecution ever come to you and say, hey, we would like to talk to you about corroborating or supporting or verifying what you told us here? Did that ever happen?
Can you say it again?
Yeah, when you're telling the police that OG Bentley supposedly hit a car and guns, did the police ever come to you or the district attorney's office and say, we want to talk to you about that statement and see if we could verify it? Did they ever do that?
Then I said to the police, they came back to me and asked me to verify whatever word you using. They never, I said what I said to them, that was it. I didn't hear nothing else from them until I was back in handcuffs.
Okay. Yesterday, you were shown State's Exhibit number 22CC. Could you help me out if you don't mind? Thank you. It should be the nitro. You know what I'm talking about? Yes. This is already in evidence, Your Honor.
Right.
Ms. Person. Ms. Perfect. Thank you. If you could just blow up the actual image. Mr. Copeland, if you were shown this yesterday, this should be State's Exhibit number 22CC as in Colette. And the state asked you about the vehicle, which should be on the left of your screen. And they identified it as a white Nitro, I believe. Do you remember this from yesterday by any chance?
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah.
Now, I just want to make sure the jurors know, and if you could make it small. This is not the Texaco gas station that you were showing pictures of with the Infiniti and the Pontiac and the gentleman walking into the convenience store. This is a totally different gas station. Do you recognize that?
I don't know what he said.
I just want to make sure that there was clarity. Do you know where this gas station is by any chance, just from looking around? Just from looking at 22CC?
You said, do I know the area?
Yeah, do you recognize that at all?
Yeah, I know the area.
Okay. Is that in the same area vicinity as the Texaco gas station that's next to the barber shop where Mr. Donovan Thomas was killed?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure the jurors weren't confused, or that we didn't confuse the jurors. Okay, thank you, Mr. Knight. Now, the state also showed you yesterday a photograph. It's 10CC, as in Colette. I'd like to show that again, and it is in evidence already, Your Honor. And if you could blow it up if you don't mind. you remember seeing this yesterday by any chance, Mr. Copeland? You remember being
I
shown?
don't
that?
see nothing.
Oh, it's not on your screen? It might be, it's behind you.
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay. And the gentleman in the white shirt, kind of in the center but left of the screen, do you know that person?
No, I don't know that person.
Okay.
Trying with the white shirt or the black shirt? I don't know neither one of those.
Okay. That doesn't, being shown that yesterday by the district attorney?
Let me be clear.
Yes, sir.
I see him around, but I don't know him.
Okay, thank you. But that doesn't verify any of your statements to the police, does it?
Huh?
Objection, improper question, Your Honor.
I'm not sure he can answer that question.
Do you believe that by seeing that picture of that person, whoever it is, the person you see around sometimes, did that in any way verify what you
Mr.
told the
Steele,
police?
I mean, that's basically just, you put a do you believe in front of it, but it's, I mean, what he believes about it isn't relevant.
Did the police ever do anything to show you, or the district attorney, to corroborate your statement to the police? I understand what you're saying, that it was made up, but did they ever do anything to say, to try to tie it to that person? Did the police ever do that to you? Or the district attorney's office?
I don't even remember. I don't know. I don't hear nothing about him.
Okay. All right. I want to talk with you about your statements to the police that Jeffrey, that you were with Jeffrey when you were getting calls from the police, okay? There was some discussion like that. And it's, Your Honors, JW Jeffrey Williams 240T, as in terrific, States Exhibit number 378YE, as in Aaron. It's again June 10, 2015. This is at 9:50:35 a.m. to 9:51:48 a.m. I'm sorry. Of course. 9:50:35 a.m. 9:51:48 a.m. And if you hear this, Mr. Copeland, if I'm, just make sure that after you listen to it, I'm correct. You said, I'm like, don't worry about it, N. But anyway, long story short, the detective was calling my phone. You know what I mean? And he was right there. Detective said, Thug was right there. You said, yeah. You said, so I answered the phone and he looking at me like this, but I don't know what's going on. Detective says, why is he looking at you like that? You said, because he see me answering the phone for them. Detective said, but at what point does Thug have anything to say, nuts murder, to be looking at you in any kind of way, like, don't worry about that, like this and that. And you said, I'm fixing to give it to you. Detective said, please, we've been waiting for months. You said, no, I ain't. Guess what? I heard he was trying to kill me, but I ain't. This is what happened. I answered the phone. Hello? Yeah, this. I knew it was a detective calling. Detective said, the one that's handling the murder case? You said, no, different detective. Detective said, okay. You said, I thought one of them was you. My sister said that. She described, you know what I mean? But she was just like a man. Detective said, right. So you said, so I just thought she was talking about you. Detective said, okay. You said, so she was like, detective's called. All right. So I answered the phone and he's right there. So I was like, yeah, indiscernible. So I don't know what that means. I couldn't understand it. This and that, man, they just talking to me. And he was just looking at me, but I ain't think, because I ain't did nothing. So I'm like, SHI blank. I'd like you to just listen to this if you don't mind and tell me if this is what you're saying, and I'd like to ask you some questions.
Okay, don't worry about it, nigga. But anyway, long story short, the terrorist was calling my phone. You know what I mean? And he was right there. So, yeah. So I answered the phone. And he looked at me like this. So, well, I don't know what's going on. Like, why are you looking at you like that? Because he seen me answer the phone for him. But at what point does Thug have anything to say about nuts murder and be looking at it any kind of way, like, don't worry about that. Like, I'll give you No, ain't. Guess what? Well, I heard you try to him, but I ain't. This way, I answered the phone. Hello? Yeah, this, I knew it was the detective call. The one that's handling the murder case? Nah, it was different detectives. I went on too. My sister said that she described it. You know what I mean? But she was just like a man. I thought she was my too. So she was like, detective call. So I answered the phone, and he right there. So I'm like, yeah, this chemical company, what this and that. And they just talking to me. And he just licked them, but I ain't think he could, I ain't need that. So I'm like, shit, nigga, yeah.
Mr. Copeland, what I said, was that substantially right, according to what you just heard?
That what it sound like.
Did the police ever come to you, or the district attorney's office ever come to you and discuss with you whether or not anything about you were around Jeffrey when police are calling and his impression of it or reaction to it? They ever do anything to verify that, to your knowledge?
No.
It's made up, right?
But they said that their own mouth. You heard them in the investigation. You ain't giving us nothing. You bushing us. I mean, like they knew what I was doing. My stomach hurt bad, Judge. I feel like I had cramps.
Can I ask you a question? Okay. This is JW 241E as in Aaron, State's Exhibit number 378YA as in Elisa. This is January 11th, 2015. This is 4:13:31 a.m. to 4:13:59 a.m. And specifically, this is you telling Detective Thorpe that that you wanted to retaliate after the shooting of Donovan Thomas. People were shooting your family's homes. You want to retaliate, and Jeffrey telling you, don't do that, let 12 handle. Okay, just listen, okay?
It's like, she said, y'all did it. I had went down to her house and like, see what's going on. Like, bro, these folks can't shot this shit in my house. Like, for real. Yeah, I'm like, bro, what I supposed to do, bro? Like, man, get out of the way, bro. Let's swear him that 12 and deal with that. That's all he kept saying. Like, man, bro, you somebody let police out there and deal with that, bro. These folks kill him from him. He said, man, folks, he know them better than that. I mean, folks, man. I don't.
Were you able to hear that, Mr. Copeland?
Yeah, I heard.
And is it fair to say that you told Detective Thorpe about 7-8 hours after the shooting of Donovan Thomas that Jeffrey's reaction to all this is let 12 handle?
Say it again.
Okay. Jeffrey's reaction when you were saying that people are shooting at your family's homes, God forbid, Jeffrey told you let 12 handle. That's what you told the police, right?
Now I tell the police anything to try to get them out my face.
Okay. And tell the jurors, if you don't mind, who is 12?
Who?
Who is 12?
Who is 12?
Yeah.
Shit, they know the police.
I want to talk with you about your statements to law enforcement. This is JW 240U as in unbelievable. It states exhibit number 378YE as in Aaron. This is 10:58:11 a.m. to 10:58:46 a.m. This is again June 10th, 2015. And Mr. Copeland, just to orient you, this is where you're talking to the police about Jeffrey supposedly wanted to have you killed, okay?
Have who killed?
Remember that?
Have who killed?
You.
Me?
Yeah, that's what you told the police. I'm going to read it, and then you tell me. Well, I'm going to say what I think it said, but you correct us. You said, it ain't none of that. It ain't. This is what only thing, when the police called, bruh, he's seen me talking to them. and he just feel as I ain't supposed to say nothing. You know what I mean? He just want me to just let y'all put one on me for murder. You know what I mean? That's what he want. Detective said, and Sam called and not saying nothing. And you said, that's what he wanted. That's what I feel like deep in my heart, deep inside my heart. Like I ain't even told my brother. I ain't tell nobody that this N is trying to have me killed. I ain't tell my baby mama, you know what I mean? Detective said, right. You said, it was a feeling like when Nut first died and everybody was coming, screaming my name, seeing how nervous and scared I was. If you could listen to it, if you don't mind.
It ain't none of it. It ain't just what all I'm saying, he just, when the police come up, bro, he seen me talking to him. And he just feel, and then I ain't supposed to say nothing. You know what I mean? He just want me to just try to put one of me for murder. I mean, that's what he wants. And stand tall and not say that. That's what he wants. That's what I feel like deep inside my heart. Like, I keep telling my brother, I ain't telling nobody about something that he trying to kill. I ain't telling make more. I mean,
And then I'd like to play for you Jeffrey Williams 240W. As in wonderful, it's State's Exhibit number 378YE as in Aaron. It's at 10:58:50 a.m. to 10:59:09 a.m. So it's right after where we stopped. So it's really a continuation. And I'd like you to listen to this and focus on your statement that, you know what I mean? It was, I got scared to be around him, be told, the truth be told, I got scared. I told my baby mama, like, you can call her now, man, we gotta go, man. I think that N thug, like that night they shot at us. When I was telling you all that story, in my heart, I was like, darn, but says another word, that N thug trying to get me killed, you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, I got scared to be around. Be told, truth be told, I got scared. I told baby mom, are you calling him? Man, we gotta go, man. I think we do like when they like they shot at it. When I'm telling y'all the story with it, in my heart, I just like, man, thug trying to get me killed. You know what I mean?
Did you hear that, Mr. Copeland?
Yeah, I heard it.
So in those two back-to-back recordings that we heard, the JW240U and the JW240W, on the first one, you said to the police that you ain't tell nobody that this N's trying to have me killed. I ain't tell my baby mama. And then in the second one, the JW240W, you said, truth be told, I got scared. I told my baby mama. Did the police ever ask you about that and push back and say, how do you say that?
How do you say what?
Yeah, that you didn't tell your child's mother and you did tell your child's mother. Did they ever do anything like that?
I think they just try to make me feel comfortable. Like they talk to me to try to make me feel comfortable to open up to them. So that's what I was thinking. I don't know. I telling people anything. I ain't care about getting caught up in the lie. But I was trying to be as convincing as possible.
Okay. I'd like to go into JW240V, as in Victory. It's State's Exhibit number 378YE, as in Aaron. It's June 10, 2015. Mr. Copeland's 10:20:39 a.m. to 10:21 even, or 10:21:00 a.m. And this, I'd like you to focus on what you talked about with Valerie told you that Jeffrey wanted to set you up. And you said that, yeah, but see, Valerie got in the car. She was like, hey, bro, I'm going to tell you something. Don't say nothing. You know what I mean? Like, what's up? She like, thug, this and that and that. And I'm like, detective said, no. And then you said, now I'm like, what you mean? And she like, Don't trust this N, bruh. You know what I mean? He trying to set you up, talking about every time I go out, I got out of jail, something got shot up. Detective says, uh-huh. Can you listen to that for me?
All right.
Thank you.
But if you better got in touch, you just like, hey bro, I'm gonna tell you something, I'm saying it. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait till she's like, dog, this and this. I'm like, no, what is it? Nah, I'm like, what you mean? She's like, I didn't don't trust this nigga, bro. You know what I mean, they really trying to set you up. So like every time I got in jail, son got shot up.
So you're saying every time you got out of jail, something got shot up. That's what you're telling the police, right?
That's what I told the police.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
And that Valerie told you don't trust Jeffrey. Remember that?
That's what I said.
Yeah. And did the police ever come to you, or did you get any information from Valerie or someone else at the police or the prosecution ever tried to verify that that conversation occurred with Valerie?
After this interview right here, I went to the feds probably like 2-3 weeks later. I haven't heard anything from about this interview all the way up until they brought me in this trial.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything about no investigation all the way up until this trial.
Okay. To your knowledge, did the police or the prosecution ever just simply go to Valerie and say, did this happen?
Yeah, yes, sir. I don't know.
I'd like to show you what the prosecution showed you yesterday. It states exhibit number 60W, as in wonderful, A as in Elisa. It's timestamp 208. Ms. Knight, do you mind helping me? Thank you. Do you remember seeing this yesterday, Mr. Copeland, this photograph that Ms. Hilton showed you?
Yeah.
And she said, and you verified that that's Valerie, remember that?
I think it's so.
How does, if from your understanding, how does showing you states exhibit number 60WA verify that Valerie had a conversation with you in a car that don't trust Jeffrey?
Objection, Your Honor, improper question, speculation,
I'm not asking you to
Vague.
speculate.
vague.
Okay. Can you tell the jury how showing you states exhibit 60WA verified anything that you said to the police on June 10th,
Objection.
2015?
Objection vague, and it's the same question. Just reframe.
Sustained.
Besides that being a photograph or an image of a video, what does that picture mean to you that you were shown yesterday?
That she was dirty as hell back in the day.
Thank you, sir. All right, I'd like to go into JW24X as an X-ray that states exhibit number 378YE as an Aaron, June 10, 2015, from 4:13:34 p.m. to 4:14:46 p.m. Specifically, Detective Dennis asked you, what does Birdman have to do with all of this? And you answered, Birdman's quiet. Detective Dennis said, he don't tell them to calm down. You said, Birdman, he don't talk in front of us. Detective Dennis said, he don't, y'all like that? And you said, but he like, yeah, he right there. He talked to me a lot, but it don't be about nothing. Detective Dennis said, small talk. You said, yeah. What the H this N talking about? Detective Dennis then I can't understand what he's saying. Then you say, it sound like it. Detective Dennis said, you think so? You said, I don't think he did it. I don't know. Detective Dennis said, so with all this stuff with Nut, what was his reaction to it? Meaning Birdman. You said, from me to you, he was trying to pay them to keep quiet. Detective Dennis asked you, pay who to keep quiet? You said them. Detective Dennis said, who is them? You said Nuts folks. Detective Dennis said, oh, just go about their business. You said, yep. Detective Dennis, here, take this, shut the HELL up, leave it alone. You said, I think it was 200,000. Detective Dennis said, a payoff. You said, I heard that right, my own ears. Detective Dennis said, who he supposedly paid to, and you said, Fly. Detective Dennis said, who's Fly? You said, the man who owned the TIG. It's kind of a way y'all can just man, if you don't mind listening to this.
What does Birdman have to do with all this?
Birdman, quiet.
He don't tell him to calm down?
Man, Birdman, nah, he don't talk for him.
He don't know y'all like that.
He gonna be right there. He talk to me a lot, but it don't be about that. It's just,
Small talk.
yeah, what the hell this nigga talking about?
Do he just?
It sound like,
You think so?
I don't think he is. I don't know.
So with all the stuff with that, what was his reaction to?
I'm easy. I'm trying to pay them to keep quiet.
Pay who to keep quiet?
Damn.
Who is it?
Hey, folks.
Oh, let's go about that business.
Yeah.
Here, take this, shut the hell up, leave it alone.
I think it was 200,000.
Pay off.
I heard it by my own ears.
Who is supposed to pay it to?
Fly.
Who's Fly?
The man who owned the TIG.
Copa, what I said, was that fairly accurate to what you told the Detective Dennis?
I tell the police anything.
Sure. Did the police ever come to you, the district attorney's office, and ever discuss with you anything to, let's corroborate this?
All the way up to this point, even today, they never sat down and asked me nothing about nothing I said in the interviews.
I'm the first one to do this.
Yeah, you the only one that did this to me.
Did you bring up Birdman, or did Detective Dennis bring up Birdman?
I think he did.
And then you just started talking about him,
That's what I'm gonna do.
like you've been telling the jurors.
He bring up your name. I'm gonna have something for you.
I want to talk with you about Jeffrey Williams 240Y, as in yesterday, State's Exhibit number 378YE, as in Erin. It's June 10, 2015 again. Interrogation, it's from 10:23 a.m. to 10:51 a.m. And Mr. Copeland, if you can listen to this and tell us if this is you talking about Jeffrey was going to buy the gun that was found at the Dunbar Recreational Center for $1,000, if this is what you're talking about with the police, okay?
So when I got the gun, I got it from the green store. So I went up to the pub to go play baseball, but I'm waiting on them to come get it. So waiting on who to come get it? Ladino. So his brother pulled up. I mean, yeah, you talking about the big kid or the Cleve? Okay. His brother pulled up to get it. I mean, they like, so gonna give me $1,000 for it. I mean, so I was telling them that they gun. But I don't know,
It's going to be my same question. Anything besides what you told the police to verify that Jeffrey was going to buy a gun for $1,000 at the Dunbar Recreational Center gun?
They didn't even believe me.
Miss Hilton asked you yesterday, towards the end of your testimony with her, she said, but all you were talking about were people, the only people committed crimes was Jeffrey and other people maybe here, like Little D and Nard, et cetera. Do you remember that type of question that she asked you?
I don't even understand what you're saying.
Okay. Do you remember telling the police that Rich Homie Kwan took out, put $25,000 to kill Tay? Remember telling him that?
See, I told the police that. Told you, I wanted them to believe I knew information and that they can rely on me. That's my whole motive when they were questioning me. If they go for it and they let me walk away, you got to catch me on the back end.
Do you remember telling the police that Rich Homie Kwan would buy guns for YFN Lucy and his people and store them?
I can't tell the police nothing that's going on in some with people that I'm not around. So it's self-explanatory that I made it up.
Did the police ever come to you or the prosecution, meaning the district attorney's office, and say, hey, we want to go over what you said to see if we could verify it?
No, I haven't heard anything until this trial. Only person come talk to me is Miss Hill. But I can't, like, she asked me, have I heard some calls? She let me hear the calls. Like, I don't recall her asking me specific questions.
Okay. I'd like to play for you Jeffrey Williams 244A as an Elisa. It's a January 28th, 2015. Interview at 7:23:53 through 7:24:16, and it's on those. It's on the issue about Rich Homie Kwan putting $25,000 to kill Tay. Okay.
All right.
Rich Homie Corn supposed to give him 50,000 to meet a new plug. Like Rich Homie Corn told him this out his mouth. Yeah. Then Rich Homie Corn like he got 25,000 have T killed. It's like from the picture you just showed me. Nah, Tay who just got shot the other night. Oh, in the car over there. Okay. He had 25,000 have T killed. Who did? Just Rich Homie Corn shit. Cause he was telling me. So I'm telling Rich Homie Corn like, but.
And then Jeffrey Williams 244B. It's about Rich Homie Kwan buying guns and storing them for YFN Lucy and his people. This is January 28, 2015. It's 9:07:17 p.m. to 9:07:26 p.m.
Now that Rich Homie Kwan buying the guns for this.
Is that it? Okay. And Mr. Copeland, this is just the same thing you've been saying the whole time, right? You're just going to talk about me. If the police bring me up or want to know, you're just going to be a fountain of information, so they let you go.
Man, this is crazy, man. Like, throughout my whole life with interacting with the police, they never believed nothing I said. I don't have a clue why they even got me in here. You know what I mean? Yeah, man.
I'd like to talk with you about Jeffrey Williams, number 240Z, as in zebra, States Exhibit number 378YE, as in Aaron, June 10, 2015. It's 1:16:56 p.m. to 1:17:36 p.m. You said, you know what I mean? This N, you know what he did to me? He gave me $300,000 to hold, and he left and came back. Detective Dennis said, and you ain't get none of that? And you said, I don't care about money. I don't. Detective Gaither said, you care about some money. And Detective Dennis said, you kind of dissing yourself, man. And you said, listen, the N would give me money.
What is N?
N-I-G-G.
Oh, nigga.
You feel what I'm saying? I didn't need nothing. I didn't. Detective Gaither said, how much? You said, but when I went to jail, he didn't help me. Detective Gaither said, you just said the most amount of money Thug Dunn gave you. Detective Dennis said $300,000. And you said, but he left with you 300. This is Detective Dennis, and I guess came back and gave you 1,000 and you were good. I just want you to hear that and make sure that's what it said.
We didn't. Yeah, $300,000. The whole. And he left, came back.
And you know it.
I don't care about money. I don't. You care about some money.
You be contradicting yourself, man.
The nigga was giving me money. You know what I'm saying? I didn't need that. I did it. But when I went to jail and he didn't help me, you just said the most amount of money
It's gonna sound about but he left you with 300, and I guess it came back and gave you a 1,000 again. You was good.
You hear that, Mr. Copeland?
Mhm.
And the police are telling you, you're not making any sense, right? They're saying that to you, right?
Right.
They know, you believe, they know this is all just try to give them something they need to let you go, right?
Objection to speculation.
That's what you're doing. Don't speculate about anyone else. That's what you're doing, right?
They know that. Dennis know it, Gaither know it.
And there's no picture of you with $300,000. You're not saying that's true. You just said that to the police, right?
If I had $300,000, you know, it would have been pictures, videos, and everything. The whole world would have seen it.
I'd like to go through with you Jeffrey Williams, or JW 241F as in Fox, States Exhibit number 378YA is in Elisa. This is January 11th, 2015. So this is, 7-8 hours after Mr. Thomas was, God forbid, shot. It's 3:14:24 a.m. to 3:14:29 a.m. And I want you to hear and listen for whether you said this. I never had a problem with Nut. Me and Nut ain't never had two words with each other. Me and Nut was always okay. You know what I'm saying? The only person I ever had a problem with was Cal. Just tell me if that's what is being said.
I never had a problem with nothing. Me and nothing ain't never had two words to each other. Me and nothing was always okay. You know what I'm saying?
Now, Mr. Copeland, what I said, that was fairly accurate.
What you say?
What I said when I asked you to listen for it, that was accurate. That was
We heard it.
okay. And actually, a little time before January 6, 2015, I'm using that date for when you got into that fight at Club Crucial. You know what I'm talking about? When Shell Kell and other people jumped on you with your eye. You know what I'm talking about?
You know I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So before that date, before January 6, 2015, you stole from Mr. Donovan Thomas's Tahoe vehicle his cellular telephone, his identification, his chain, his nut chain, and his wallet. Is that true?
I gave it back to him.
Okay. I'm going to get there, I promise you. And what happened was Mr. Donovan Thomas called his own cell phone and you answered it and made arrangements to give him back his property. Fair to say?
Sound like that.
And when he came to get his property, he came with other people in other cars, right?
Sound like that.
And they had guns.
Objection, assuming facts not in evidence.
Well, he's asking the question of whether Mr. Copeland knows, so I'll overrule that.
What's going on?
Did they have guns that you saw?
Yeah.
And shortly after that, you learned that Donovan Thomas and others were going to hurt you. True?
Objection, improper character of the victim.
Sustained.
You knew that Donovan Thomas and others made statements that you heard that they were going to hurt you.
Objection, Your Honor, assuming facts not in evidence and improper character evidence.
Sustained.
Did you ever listen to Donovan Thomas have a meeting with others where they discussed you?
Yeah, I was told.
And you were actually listening, and there was a person named Maurice or Mo who was in prison on the call as well, right?
I don't know. I don't know somebody came back and told me.
Okay. And you understood that Donovan Thomas and others were going to hurt you. Is that true?
Objection, assuming facts not into evidence.
Sustained.
Did you believe, come around January 10th, 2015, that Donovan Thomas and others were going to hurt you? Did you believe that?
Same objection and relevance of what his beliefs were.
I think it goes to a state of mind on the day that Mr. Thomas was killed.
Overruled.
What you asked?
Did you believe that on the date that Donovan Thomas was killed, that he and others, his friends, were had a plan to hurt you physically?
I was told it.
Okay. So when you told the police on January 11, 2015, that you and Nut never had any words, never had a problem, your only problem was with Kel, you just didn't want to tell the police about that, right?
Say that again?
You did not share with the police what you believed to be a problem that Donovan Thomas was and his friends were trying to hurt you. You didn't share that with Detective Thorpe, did you?
I don't know.
You told Detective Thorpe that you never had a problem with Mr. Thomas, right? We just heard that.
That's what I told him.
Okay. I want to go into what you have been told by law enforcement. I'm going to do it all from January 10th of 2015. And I want you to listen to these. I want you to listen. This is JW 240AA, Elisa. States Exhibit number 378YE. It's June 10th, 2015. It's 1:15 p.m. to 1:51 p.m. and tell the jury if this is accurate. You said, "It is though. I sat right here. You know what I mean? I promised I wouldn't back out for nothing. You know what I mean?" Detective says, "I'ma find out." You said, "Like I said, man, if that was to keep me out of jail and y'all can help me, I promise you, want Birdman, Kente, any of them, I will go right there and do what I have to do, right? I am good with anybody. You know, even though all this SHI blank going on, you know," and detective says, "You mean right?" And you said, "I put it on my mama's soul. I mean it." I want you to listen to this, okay?
I promise I'm gonna back out next. I mean, I'm fine now. Like I said, man, if they wasn't keep me out of jail and if y'all can help me, man, I promise you, you gonna throw up Birdman, can't take and one of them. I'm gonna go right there and do what I have to do. Like, I'm good with anybody. Like, you know, all this shit going on. I mean, it will be 1:16 p.m. You mean that, right? Put on my own soul, I mean.
Now, did you hear Detective Gaither say, June 10, 2015, 1:16 PM. You mean that right? And you said, I put on my mama's soul. She's saying that what you said, that you're going to help them. You'll do anything to get out of jail, right?
Right.
Okay. I want to go back in time, same day, but this is going to be 9:45 a.m. So about 4 hours before, 3 hours before. This is JW 240B as in Barry, B as in Barry, States Exhibit number 378, YE as in Aaron. This is 9:45, 19 a.m. to 9:48, 39 a.m. And it's Detective Cunningham, not detective, Special Agent with the ATF, Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, Explosive, Cunningham. She's a female, and she says, and I want you to make sure that it's accurate. She says, okay, I need you to listen. You know you're a felon. You know that you got a gun today, so you can't even dispute that. I don't even want you to try because you're just going to be wasting my time and yours too. And let me finish. You said no, and there's overlapping conversation, meaning multiple people speaking. The ATF agent Cunningham says, me and investigator Gaither, but the gun today, the one we found today in the apartment, meaning when you were arrested from your apartment on June 10, 2015. You said, ATF agent Cunningham said, now, when it comes to the federal system, it's not you go, when you go, do your time, there's no parole. There is no what it is. And then Detective Gaither says, early release. And then Agent Cunningham says, no early release. You may get good behavior, but that's only like you get nothing. And they typically don't let you stay in Atlanta. They might ship you off somewhere clear across the country. So whatever you do, and then you say, darn, but you said a different word, my head hurt. Agent Cunningham said, I'll go back and tell the United States attorney that's assigned to this case, this is what he did to help himself out. It pans out. Or I can go back and tell her, this is what he said. We found out it was a lie. He's continuing to play games. The judge do what they want to do. So before we can even get started, especially while I'm sitting here, everything is on you because I've never talked to you before. So with me, you almost get a clean slate to help yourself. If you do lies, I don't, because I got too much other stuff to do and would hate to have to go back and tell the U.S. attorney, but he's lying, he's full of crap. It's up to you. You said, before I lie, then there's a lot of people talking. Agent Cunningham said, it's up to you, Mr. Copeland. You said, before I lie, Agent Cunningham said, let me finish. I think it's a 3 or 4 time convicted felon you are. How many felonies do you have? Detective Gaither said, about 3, don't you? Agent Cunningham said, you got 3. Detective Gaither said, about 3 or 4. You said, talking about what? Agent Cunningham said, how many felonies do you have? You said, what am I on probation for? Agent Cunningham said, how many convictions are felonies? Detective Gaither said, it's around 3. You said, I don't know. Agent Cunningham said, let's just assume it's 3, okay? I'm fixing to tell you right now, you have heard of the armed career criminal. You said, you're not going to worry about me lying. Agent Cunningham said, you have heard of armed career criminal with 3 while you're sitting here now. And how old are you? You said 23. Agent Cunningham said 23. You got 15 years off the top. And that's before you even get into the time for whatever your charge is. And possession by a convicted felon is 5 years twice. That's 10. So we're talking about 15 plus 10 on top of that. You're looking at what, 48 years old? That's what you're looking at. This is serious. You said, I told you it's getting Detective Gaither said, I told you it's getting real. Detective Gaither said, nobody has time for the bull crap. You said, I told you it's getting real. I knew it. I tried. Agent Cunningham said, that's not including whatever conspiracies you're involved in. Mr. Copeland, if I really wanted to be a bad ASS and treat you bad, I'd probably throw the book at you and wouldn't think twice about it. You got a baby girl, a beautiful baby girl. I want you to listen to it. And this is all at the early in the morning, 9:45 a.m., okay?
Okay, I need you to listen. You know you're a felon. You know you got that gun today. Today, so you can't even dispute that. So I don't even want you to try because you're just gonna be wasting my time and yours too. And let me finish. You just mitigated with the gun today, the one we found today in the apartment. Now, when it comes to the federal system, it's not no, you go do your time and there's no parole. There is no, what is it? I mean, no early release. You may get good behavior, but that's only like, you get nothing. And they typically don't let you stay in Atlanta. They might ship you off somewhere clear across the country. So, whatever you do, I go back and tell the U.S. attorney that's assigned to your case, this is what he did to help himself out. It pans out. Or I can go back and tell her, this is what he said. We found out it was lies. He continued to play games. The judge do what they want to do. So, what I'm trying to tell you before we even get started, especially while I'm sitting here, everything is on you because I've never taught you before. So with me, you almost get a clean slate to help yourself. I don't do lies. I just don't because I got too much other stuff to do. And I would hate to have to go back and tell any U.S. attorney, you know what, he just lying and he full of crap. It's up to you, Mr. Copeland. You are I think, is it a 3 or 4 times convicted felon? How many felons do you have?
About 3, no?
You have 3?
About 3 or 4. Right.
How many felonies?
I'm saying, like, is it what I'm waiting for?
How many convictions that are felonies do you have? Is it 3 or 4?
It's around there, yeah. I don't know.
Okay, let's just assume it's 3, okay? I'm gonna tell you right now, with 3, have you ever heard of armed career criminal?
Not gonna read about me lying.
Have you ever heard of armed career criminal? With 3, where you sitting at now, and you how old?
23.
23. You get 15 years off the top. Off the top. That's before you even get into the time for whatever your charge is, and possession by convicted felon is 5 years, twice is 10. So we talking about 15 plus 10 on top of that. You looking at what, 48 years old? That's what you're looking at. This is serious.
I told you.
Nobody has time for the bull crap.
I told you it's getting real. Did I not? I knew it. I tried to.
That's not including whatever conspiracies you involved in. Mr. Copeland, if I really wanted to be a badass and treat you bad, I would probably throw the book at you and wouldn't think twice about it. You got a baby girl, beautiful baby girl.
Mr. Copeland, what I said, was that fair, what they were telling you? They being the federal Agent Cunningham and Detective Gaither, Detective Gaither?
What happened?
Is that pretty much what they're telling you? 48 years of age, you got federal charges, 25 years off the top?
Yeah, she was lying too.
But that's what you believed at the time, right?
Yes.
And that motivated you to tell the police anything they wanted to hear to get you home, right?
I was always gonna do that, but it just like it scared me more.
I want to go into Jeffrey Williams 240, JW 240CC as Colette. It states exhibit number 378. YE is in Aaron. It's again June 10th. Same interview, 2015. This is a little later. This is 12:08, 22 to 12:10:50. And on this one, you said, man, so what can I do? I don't know why. I'll do whatever, man. I'll wear a camera. Detective said, listen to me. I'll do whatever, man. I'm glad you mentioned that, said Detective Gaither. I'll do whatever, man. I promise to God, man. Detective said, I'm glad you mentioned that because last Thursday, Miss Kim Dammers is a United States attorney, like the head person for the federal prison system. And I basically broke down to her everything we had so far in your case, all of them, shootings, all of this, all right? She said, you guys have great cases, but we need somebody with direct knowledge that can take down the main culprits. To us, I don't think you're a main target because you are the target for them. What we want, the top guys that's calling the shots. I know you heard the term, we want the big fish. And sometimes to get the big fish, you got to dangle small fish in front of them for them to come, for the fish to come. So is that something you want to do? Because our case is sealed with you. Like it's not, of course, we would like to, solve some of these retaliatory shootings and all that stuff. But as far as your fate at this point, Detective Dennis said, you're done. Detective Gaither said, you're cooked. The only thing that may possibly help you is helping yourself by speaking what you know. You said, I just. Then Detective Gaither said, right. And then, but that's Shannon. And Detective Dennis said, he's on the same level as you. Detective Gaither said, basically, I don't consider Shannon a big fish. Detective Dennis said, he's a small fish. You said, I know what y'all want to throw. Detective Gaither said, like, he's a gopher, you understand? And that's why he's less. In my opinion, he's less than you with your status, in my opinion. And you said, so what do I need to do? And Detective Gaither said, I want to know what the FUC blank thug doing. I want to know what I want to know. I want to know what the F thug doing.
Oh,
I want to know what the F goddamn, excuse my language. Where is his money from? If they got to get Birdman, we want to talk about the darn, or it says, damn, Wayne Bus. I want to play that for you. Tell me if this is what you were told.
So what can I do to make the strange up? I don't know why. I do whatever, man. I don't know. I do whatever, man. I'm glad you mentioned it. I do whatever, man. I promise God, man. I'm glad you mentioned it. Because last Thursday, Miss Kim Dammers, the U.S. Attorney, like the head person for the federal system. And I basically broke down to her everything that we had as far as your case, all the retaliatory shootings, all this, all that, right? She said, you guys got great cases, but we need somebody with direct knowledge that can take down the main culprits. To us, I don't want to say you're not a main target because you are the target for them, but we want top guys that's calling shots. I know you heard the term, we want the big fish. And sometimes to get to the big fish, you got to dangle small fish in front of them. For them to come, for the fish to come. So, if that's something that you want to do, because our case is sealed with you. Like it's not, of course we would like to, solve some of these retaliatory shootings and all that stuff. But as far as your case, at this point, you cooked. And the only thing that may possibly help you is you helping yourself by speaking what you know. That's why he's less, in my opinion, he's less than what your status is. Am I right? I want to know what the fuck Thug doing. I want to know what the fuck goddamn where his money is from. If they got to get to Birdman, he will talk about damn Wayne Bus.
Fair what I said, Mr. Copeland?
this what it sound like.
You knew before going in that law enforcement, they made it clear to you. This happens to be recorded, but they made it clear to you that they wanted Jeffrey Williams, you to give information on Jeffrey Williams, right?
Yeah.
And the only way that you were going to avoid, in your opinion, what you were told, pretty much the rest of your life in prison. Is that how you understood it? Was to give information on Jeffrey Williams and others. True?
Really, just him.
And it was a lie, wasn't it?
What you mean?
Jeffrey Williams didn't do these things that you're telling the police.
But I told y'all that.
All right, let's take a break. All right, I asked Ms. Bursfield to check on how the juror is doing as well, so I'll let y'all know what we hear back. Anything before we take our recess?
I will get you those cases.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
would really appreciate if us wrapping up early today. So if we can go maybe about 45 more minutes or so, and then at least let them go for the day after that. All right. And if they're ready, I think they are. Let's get Mr. Copeland and get them back and try to make some more progress.
You're right.
Break a little early. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Steele.
Mr. Copeland, I would like to discuss with you Jeffrey Williams, JW 240DD, David States Exhibit number 378, YE as in Aaron, that's at 11:52:04 a.m. to 11:52:28 a.m. And what it specifically, I believe, says, and then you tell us if I'm wrong or correct, that you said, because right now, I just need help. If y'all can promise y'all could help me, I promise. And then there's some break. I don't understand what's being said. And then you say, I'll sit here, tell y'all everything I done heard and everything I done saw and everything I can tell y'all stuff that y'all can go get. You know what I mean? Like, and then Detective Dennis said, are you willing to do that though? And you said, I promise. I'll do it right now. I can show y'all houses. Y'all can go bust your head right at the spot. I don't care, man. I just want y'all to protect. Detective Dennis says, what do you want out of it? You said, me, my baby girl. Excuse me, I said that wrong. Me and my baby and my girl. Can you listen to it for us?
Right now, this, I just need help. If y'all can promise y'all to help me, I promise you, bro. I'm gonna sit right here and tell y'all everything I done heard, everything I done saw, and everything. I can tell y'all stuff that y'all can go get. Something.
Are you willing to do that?
I promise I'll do it right now. I can show y'all how. I can y'all go butch everybody's like, I don't care. I just want y'all to
What do you want out of it?
like this.
Mr. Copeland, what I said, was that fairly accurate of what you just heard? Or what
That's
was-
what I just heard.
Okay. And then the last one I want to focus on for this series is Jeffrey Williams, number two, or JW 240EE, Aaron, that states exhibit number 378YE. It's the June 10th, 2015 meeting, interrogation with the police. And now it's a little early. It's 10:01:46 a.m. to 10:01:59 a.m. And you said something to the effect of, I hate jail, man. I am, and I'm just saying darn, but it says another word. I let an N get me sent away for man, them N's trying to kill me and my child, bruh. I ain't. And then he talking about killing me, bruh. Listen, I'm a tell you anything. Okay, if you could just listen to this for us.
You know what they did to me?
Tell us. Tell us.
After January 10th, people started shooting at me and my family. February, I went to jail for trying to protect me and my baby and my girl at the time. They put me in Rice Street on some stuff called medical flow. It's somewhere hid in the jail. It stink. It's crazy people in there talking, yelling through the door, putting feces all on the window and on the wall. They locked me in the room. It's one door right here. It's one door right here. And it's another door back here. And it's another door back here. I'm behind this door. I don't see nobody. I don't talk to nobody. I'm by myself. I'm at the verge of losing my mind. People trying to shoot at me while they got me locked in this room. I can't talk to nobody. I can't see nobody. I'm locked in this room. They held me in that room for 3 weeks. I got out of jail. I had a court date for another county where I never even been to for some charges I never even did. I don't steal out of stores. I went down to that courthouse and tried to get it situated. Went in the wrong courtroom, told the deputy, hey, my name is such, such, such. I missed court. I'm here to fix it. He said, oh, I gave him my name, told him what happened. He said, oh, you got a warrant. And he locked me up. They put me right back in jail. I stayed in jail a whole month. I had to use the money for selling my four-wheeler to pay an attorney to come represent me. I got the lawyer to come represent me. That lawyer, he got me a bond. A friend of mine gave my baby mama the money to pay my bond. She paid my bond. I got out of jail. The very next day, Atlanta police came into the gym with a whole lot of them. They got me, said that this my bag, this my gun. They took me from my neighborhood to Turnerfield. They questioned me. I told them it wasn't my gun. They let me go. They came back and get me June 10th. They questioned me. I was at the verge of losing my mind because every time I come outside, they keep locking me up. They got me. They did it. They held me in the interrogation room for a whole day, probably. I don't know. They put me right back in Rice Street, put me right back behind all these doors. They constantly kept doing it to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, at this point, like, man, I'm tired of keep reliving this stuff. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it, man. I'm sitting right here. I got cramps, man. I got knots in my stomach, man. I haven't ate none. I tried to eat yesterday. I haven't ate today. Y'all sitting up here. I asked for a break. I asked. I'm in pain right now. I understand it might be my fault. I'm telling y'all, I made it up. I lied. Damn, man, this is crazy. I'm telling y'all, my stomach hurting, man.
Well, with the honorable court's order, we're going to be leaving in a little bit of time. Can you try to just listen to the JW 240EE that I just said? If you need it, could you put in your earphone if you don't mind?
I can hear it.
Okay.
I hate jail. I hate jail. I was damn on this nigga recent with man, my nigga trying to kill me and my child, bro. And then he somebody kill me, bro. This so you can never do.
Mr. Copeland, with your background and your experiences in jail, is it fair to say that you would do anything not to go to jail? Mr. Copeland, can I ask you a couple of questions?
I'm listening.
Okay. For people who've never been to prison or jail, do you know the difference, by the way?
Y'all know the difference.
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Sustain.
Whether it's a prison or jail, is it fair to say that
Rice Street is not either one. There's not prison or jail. I don't know what that place is. This is the worst place in the world.
do you remember being in custody after Friday, June 7th, 2024, after the first time you testified before the ladies and gentlemen, the jury, and before you came back in the late morning of Monday, June 10th, 2024? Do you remember where you were held?
You talking about they locked me up here?
Yes, sir.
What about it?
Do you remember where were you held in the Fulton County Jail, another jail? Do you remember?
After when they took me out of here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Where were you held?
They took me to Rice Street, and then the next day came, they took me from Rice Street to DeKalb County Jail, and they damn near just as worse as Rice Street.
And DeKalb County Jail, describe to the ladies and gentlemen jury what it was like when you were in that jail.
Objection, relevance, Your Honor.
Goes to his motivation for testifying here.
I don't know that we need to get that far afield. He's already told us that Rice Street is horrible. It's the worst place in the world, and DeKalb is even worse. So let's move on.
Mr. Copeland, after giving law enforcement officers this information that the prosecution has played for you, January 11th, 2015, recorded interview, January 28th, 2015, recorded interview, February 20th, 2015, recorded interview, February 21st, 2015, recorded interview, June 10th, 2015, 9-hour recorded interview. You got charged with murder, right? For Donovan Thomas.
Can you say it again?
Yes.
I heard the interview. You said I got charged with murder.
Yeah. Do you remember being served? No, I'm marking Jeffrey Williams number 245. May I approach, John?
You may.
I'm going to show you this, Mr. Copeland. If you need any assistance, let me know. Do you remember Detective Thorpe swearing out a warrant for you for the offense of murder for you knowingly and intentionally with malice aforethought on January 10th, 2015 at 330 McDaniel Street, Atlanta, Fulton County, state of Georgia, did participate in the
That's your
drive-by
Honor.
shooting.
Hang on just a second. Yes?
Reading something that's not into evidence and relevance.
Okay, well, overruled on relevance. What was the first thing?
That he's reading something that's not in.
All right, so have him, are you asking him whether he recognizes it? Just
Sure. Did he
ask
get
him,
charged?
do you recognize it? That's
Okay.
the way to do that.
Okay, look at Jeffrey Williams, number 245. It's several pages, but this is the first page at first. Do you recognize that as the warrant taken for your arrest for murder of Donovan Thomas by Detective Thorpe on October 20th, 2015? Yes?
Wait,
Do you recognize that?
it's a warrant paper.
For you? True?
I see my name on it.
Okay. And that's Detective Thorpe? Swore it out, right? Do you see that?
You gotta show me.
May I approach your honor?
You may.
May I approach you, Mr. Copeland? You see that?
Yeah.
Do you see the date on there, Mr. Copeland? October 20th, 2015?
You said who?
October 20th, it says 10/20/15, 2015. Do you,
No, I don't see it.
may I approach your honor?
You may. Are you gonna ask him whether it was served on him? Because he didn't really answer whether he recognized.
Date?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And at that time, you were in federal custody at the Robert A. Dayton Detention Center. When I say that time, October 20th of 2015, you were awaiting the federal charges that eventually you were sentenced to 51 months in custody, right?
No, I was sentenced to 5 years.
Okay, apologize, 60 months in custody. Apologize. While you were held at the Robert A. Dayton Detention Center in Clayton County, do you remember that?
Lord Joy.
Yes, Lovejoy. Do you remember being served by a United States Marshal these warrants while in Lovejoy?
No, my attorney told me.
Okay. And you were charged with what crimes?
He just said murder.
All right. For Donovan Thomas, right?
That's what he said.
Okay. So after Detective Thorpe, you knew that he worked with Detective Gaither, right?
What you mean?
They were coworkers. They were working, they interviewed you together, interrogated you. You knew that he worked with Detective Dennis, right?
Right?
You knew he worked with federal ATF agent Cunningham, right?
Right?
And he took out a warrant for you for murder of Donovan
Right.
Thomas just 4 months after you gave the last interrogation that we have, June 10th, 2015, right?
Right?
Mr. Copeland, eventually, you went to federal custody and you entered a guilty plea for a 922G count, which forget that, for possession of firearm by a convicted felon. Is that true?
Right?
And you remember going before the Honorable Judge Totenberg,
Right?
and she gave you the maximum sentence for that, 60
Right.
months. And you served 51 out of the 60 months. Is that fair to say?
Right?
Okay. I want to show you some of your prior convictions and tell me if you recognize them, okay? I'll be right back. Your Honor, may I have a second?
You may.
While they're looking for that, Mr. Copeland, Jeffrey Williams wasn't charged with murder of Donovan Thomas, right?
I don't know. Not to my knowledge.
Even in this indictment, Jeffrey Williams not charged with murder of Donovan Thomas. Do you realize that? And if you don't know, just say, I don't know.
Objection, Your Honor. Improper speculation.
It's the indictment on trial.
Well, it really doesn't matter whether he knows it or not. Ask your next question.
I'm just waiting on the certified copies. Mr. Copeland, I'm just going to ask you some questions while the prosecutor is looking at this, okay? While in jail, in the Fulton County Jail, as well as were you held in the Fayette County Jail? Do you ever remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just to be fair, say yes, okay, or no. And you are aware that jail calls are recorded. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Now, is it true that at times people in jail, I'm not saying you, but people in jail have contraband cellular phones, like cell phones like you would use today? They have them in the jail. A person who's in custody.
You said, do people in jail have phones?
Or in prison, yeah, or both.
Mm.
And if you don't know, just, I don't know.
Yeah, people in jail. Yeah, I guess.
Okay. I'm going to show you what I've marked. I'm starting at 252J as in Jake. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Mr. Copeland? May I approach you?
Mm-hmm.
This is, I'm just going to show you what I've marked as Mr. Williams 252J, okay? And if you could just take a look at this for me. Do you see what it says here? United States District Court, Northern District of Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta Division, United States versus you, United States of America versus you, Mr. Copeland? You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And do you see your lawyer's name, Ms. Durrett?
Mm-hmm.
And that's Durrett. And do you see the Honorable Judge Totenberg's signature on there?
Mm-hmm.
And that was your judge, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And you see the date, October 24th, 2018?
Yes.
And it has an amendment to the judgment, same case number, your name, right?
Yes.
And it just has October 22, the same date, but the judge signed October 31, and it just amended your sentence. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And this is certified. Certified means the clerk, you feel that, if you want to feel it, feel that seal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And this shows that you pled guilty to the offense of possession of firearm under 18 United States Code 922 G1. You see that?
Yes.
And your sentence is going to be on page 2, 60 months. Is that fair to say?
And 3 years supervised release. It's not on there. Is it?
It'll be on here, yes, sir. And I will show it to you. And supervised release is like what?
Probation?
And it's right here on page 4. You see that 3-year supervised release?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes. Yes.
Your Honor, I move for the admission of its certified document 252J. It's a conviction of Mr. Copeland from the Northern District of Georgia. The offense date is April 28, 2015. Your Honor, the judgment date is October 24, 2018, but then it was amended. It was a correction. It's October 31, 2018.
Just a minute.
I'm just going to move this to court. Mr. Copeland, I'm showing you what's been marked as Mr. Williams number 252I as an ice cream, okay? And again, do you feel that seal on it for a certified copy? Did you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And this is in the Superior Court of Fulton County, and that's state of Georgia versus you. You see your name?
yes,
And that's indictment number, it actually says criminal action number 20 SC 176912. You see that?
yes,
And do you see where it says that you entered a guilty plea under Alford? Do you know what Alford is? Remember?
no,
Okay. And it says 5 years to serve 3 years, balance of 2 years probated. Do you see that?
yes, I see it.
On possession of a controlled substance, schedule 1 or 2 with intent to distribute. Is that fair? That's what it says.
This what it say?
Okay. And I'm going to turn to, you were sentenced by the Honorable Judge Ingram in this courthouse. Do you remember that by any chance?
Yes,
And I'm going here to your indictment. And Judge Ingram's name used to be Judge Millender. Did you know that? And if you didn't, that's fine.
yes, I know it.
Okay. And this indictment was returned by the grand jury on November 20th, 2020 for the offenses of participation in criminal street gang activity. But you did not plead guilty to that. You pled guilty to possession of a controlled substance, schedule 1 or 2 with intent to distribute, count 2. Is that fair to say?
Yes,
Okay. And did you see your signature under where it says Kenneth Copeland weighs a copy of the indictment, lists the witnesses, formal arraignment, pleads guilty to count 2? You see your signature there?
yes,
And then the Honorable Jonathan Melnick,
yes,
that's your lawyer, right? Former lawyer. And you pled guilty on January 25, 2022. Fair to say?
yes,
Your Honor, this is a certified copy, and I would move for the admission of Mr. Williams number 252I.
Admitted.
Mr. Copeland, if you don't mind, if you could feel the seal, that shows certification. Again, Fulton County Superior Court, State of Georgia versus Mr. Kenneth Copeland. That indictment number, I'm just looking at it and reading it, 22 SC 182134. Do you see that?
yes,
And this charges you, and you pled guilty under Alford again to possession of firearm by a convicted felon. Do you see that?
yes,
And you were sentenced to 5 years to serve 10 months in prison, balance of 4 months, 4 years, 2 months to be served on probation. Do you remember that?
yes,
And this is, again, you're represented by the Honorable Jonathan Melnick. You see that?
yes,
And I'm going to the indictment in the same indictment number that we just said. And do you see your signature here?
yes,
When it says you plead guilty, and it is only to the count 3. You got that?
yes,
Is that all true, what I said? Possession found by a convicted felon. You see that?
yes,
And the grand jury, and you pled guilty to possession of firearm by a convicted felon in the county of Fulton, state of Georgia, on the 27th day of October 2021. Did knowingly and without a lawful authority possess a certain firearm, a Glock handgun, accused having been convicted of felony in 10 SC 96938 Superior Court of Fulton County, offensive aggravated. Sorry. Yes, ma'am. Having been convicted of felony on indictment number 10 SC 96938 in the Superior Court of Fulton County, Georgia, for the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on March 7, 2011. Is that true?
what's true?
That's what it says.
Yes,
Okay. And that's the count that you pled guilty to. True?
yes,
Your Honor, I move for the admission of Mr. Williams number 252 M as in magic.
Admitted.
And Mr. Copeland, that date, October 27, 2021, you saw a clip, I believe, of Investigator, Detective Viverito and you in a room,
Yes,
and that was the same day, October 27, 2021. Is that fair to say?
yes,
Okay. Mr. Copeland, I'm showing you Mr. Williams, number 252G is in Goldfetter. And this again, in Fulton County, State of Georgia versus you, Mr. Copeland. This indictment number is 20 SC 17 68 51. You see that?
yes,
And this has you pleading guilty under Alford to count 2, possession of a vehicle with an altered VIN number. The VIN number, you know what a VIN number is?
huh?
Do you know what a VIN number is?
No,
Vehicle identification number?
yes,
Okay. And it says 15 years to serve 3 years in prison, balance of 12 years on probation. You see that?
yes,
And this date is also before Judge Ingram on the 25th day of January 2022. Is that fair to say?
yes,
And here's the indictment. Same number that I announced before, State of Georgia versus you. And charging you with count 2 with possession of a vehicle with an altered VIN number. And you pled guilty to that count and count 3.
yes,
Willful obstruction of law enforcement. See that?
yes.
And that's your signature or the judge,
Maybe try turning that backup mic off. I don't know if that'll make any difference or not. Okay, I don't know why that's started happening. Go ahead.
and you pled guilty to Jonathan Melnick's your lawyer, 25th day of January 2022. Fair to say?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move for the admission of Mr. Williams, certified copy, Your Honor, 252G is a
Admitted.
Copeland, I am showing you what the mark is, Mr. Williams, 252F is in Fox, okay? Superior Court of Fulton County, State of Georgia versus Mr. Kenneth Copeland. That indictment number is 12 SC 11 3315. You see that? Yes. And this has you pleading guilty to certain counts, including terroristic threats, count 1, terroristic threats, count 2, terroristic threats, count 3, and 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. You see that? Yes. And you were sentenced to serve a total of 10 years to serve 2 years in prison, balance on probation. Is that fair to say? Yes. And this again, you feel that certification? Yes. And this was for the Honorable Todd Markle. Do you remember him as a judge by any chance? Yes. And this was the 12th day of August 2013. And that's your indictment, correct? Yes. And that's your signature? Yes. And that's what you pled guilty to, those crimes that I announced. Fair to say? Yes. Your Honor, I move for the admission of Mr. Williams 252F.
Admitted.
Mr. Copeland, I'm showing you what's certified, and if you don't mind just feeling, just make sure that you put the same seal. Yes. Superior Court of Fulton County, State of Georgia versus Mr. Copeland, criminal action number 12 SC 110195. And this charges and you pled guilty to 3 counts of entering an automobile. And then I'm skipping the 2 misdemeanors. I pled guilty to, but I'm skipping them. And then actually, that's all I'm going to announce, but it's there. 3 counts of entering automobile. True? Yes. And you were sentenced to 5 years to serve 2 years in prison and a balance of 3 years on probation. Fair to say? This was it. And this was on August 12, 2013. Correct? Yes. Also before Judge Markham? Yes. The Honorable Judge Markham. And here's the indictment charging you that you signature you pled guilty. Yes. Correct? Yes. Your Honor, I move for the admission of 252B as indictment.
Admitted.
Certified copy. showing you in the Superior Court of Fulton County, State of Georgia versus Mr. Copeland, indictment number 15 SC 136794. You have a certification on that, if you don't mind? And this is Jeffrey Williams, 252D as in David, okay? Go ahead. And this has you pleading guilty, sentence of 5 years to serve in prison, community time served with theft by receiving stolen property. See that? Yes. And this was also reported out with Judge Markle on the 13th of December 2018. See that? Yes. And this is your indictment. That's your signature, pleading guilty. Is that true? Yes. Your Honor, move to the admission of Mr. Williams 252D as indicated.
Admitted.
Copeland, I am showing you Mr. Williams number 252C is in Colette. And it's in the Superior Court of Fulton County, State of Georgia versus Mr. Copeland. And you entered a guilty plea to count 1, which is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. This is indictment number 10 SC 96398. Does that all look accurate? Yes. And you were sentenced to 10 years in confinement, but upon the service of 1 year, 9 years would be served on probation. See that? Yes. And tell me if this is your signature. And here you were represented by Suzanne Pomey, P-O-M-E-Y. See that? Yes. Here's your indictment, and that's your guilty plea under Alford versus North Carolina. You see your signature? Yes. You entered that plea on the 7th day of March 2011. Fair to say? Yes. Your Honor, I move for the admission is a certified copy of Mr. Williams 252C as in court.
Admitted.
And Mr. Copeland, this is Mr. Williams number 252B as in Barry. And this again is in Superior Court of Fulton County, State of Georgia versus Mr. Copeland. And this is a non-negotiated plea of guilty on Alford versus North Carolina. And pleading guilty to 5 years to serve in prison, on probation. Is that what it says? Yes. And can you make sure that that's a certified copy? Yes. And what you pled guilty to with your lawyer, Jessica Stearns, S-T-E-R-N-S. You see that? Yes. And this was August 31, 2009, correct? Yes. And you pled guilty under Alford versus North Carolina to count theft by taking an automobile. You see that? Count 1? Yes. And that's your signature. I think I asked you that. Is that true? Yes. And you did that on August 31, 2009, I think. Yes. Your Honor, I move for the admission of Mr. Williams 252B.
Admitted.
Mr. Copeland. When you were able to be around Jeffrey for that short period of time that you said, that benefited you because it made you more known. Am I saying that right? Is that true?
Objection on vague as to what period of time?
Can you rephrase your question, please?
Sure. You testified already that you were with Jeffrey for a short period of time from the end of 2014 to 2015, and you were arrested and didn't get out of custody on June 10th, 2015. So somewhere in that period. Is that fair to say?
I didn't hear you.
Okay. You were around Jeffrey Williams at times, at the end of 2014, year 2014, and then sporadically, because you kept getting arrested, but no more after June 10th, 2015, because then you're arrested and then sent to federal prison for 51 months. True?
No,
Okay, explain.
I was on around him from 14, and then we started hanging in 15.
Say it again, I couldn't hear you.
I wasn't hanging around him in 2015,
Okay,
only the end of 2014.
okay. And that was beneficial to you because it boosted your notoriety, meaning people took more note of you because you were around people like Jeffrey Williams and the people that he knew. Is that true?
It really was based off the experience.
Explain that to the jury.
What you mean?
Explain what you mean by it was based off the experience.
It wasn't about attention. It was just about flying on planes, going different, like just seeing more than just hanging in the neighborhood.
Before Jeffrey Williams allowed you, took you, asked you, or Tick or Mr. Trentavious Stephen, whoever, how far outside of the Atlanta area had you ever been?
Only once I've been to, no, I'm lying. Twice I've been out of town, but it was just, I went with, when I got out of jail in 2013, my baby mama, she was going to college in South Carolina. So I traveled down there with her. And then when my friend got killed, I stopped. But before that, I had went with some old friends. He took me deep sea fishing, but that was it. But
Had you, in those experiences, had you ever been on an airplane
no,
or did you drive?
yeah, we drove.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Steele, is this a good time to stop?
Sure.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and break for the day. I will see y'all back here at 9 in the morning. Just a reminder, wear your juror badges. Don't talk about the case with anybody. Let anybody talk about it with you, including amongst yourselves. Don't use the internet or any other kind of source to try to find out information about the case, anybody involved in it. Don't watch, read, listen to, in any way absorb any kind of media accounts about this case, including social media. And hope y'all have a pleasant evening. See you in the morning. Thank you.
All right, for the jury. Can I leave?
Yes, we'll see you back at 9 also. All right, sorry we're having to break early, but anything y'all need to take up with the court? Anything we can go ahead and take care of? No problem. Hang on just a second. So time-wise tomorrow, what are we anticipating in terms of?
I will be done, in my estimation, which is horrible typically, but I will be done.
Well, you're a lawyer, so we don't estimate time well.
Okay, well, then my guess is I will be done at or before lunch. When I say at or before, your honorable court starts right on time. I should be done by 11 o'clock is my belief.
Okay, and do we anticipate cross-examination by any of the other defense attorneys?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
My cross will only be, depending on how much Mr. Steele covers that I intend to cover, but probably around 20 minutes is all I
Okay.
need. Good evening, Your Honor. Yes, it'll be a brief
Okay.
cross-examination.
All right,
Thank you.
No, Kendra, Your Honor, I was anticipating a day.
a day. Okay.
But I'm going to try not to be repetitive of some of the issues that Mr. Steele is covering. So I'm going to try to shorten it.
All right, well then clearly we will not be getting, and I would assume there's then going to be redirect. The reason I ask is I'm not sure exactly when we're moving to the next witness or if the order of witnesses is still the same. And I had heard from the attorney for Mr. Sledge that he has conflict at least for part of tomorrow, but it doesn't sound like that will matter. So, and do you anticipate that he would be the next witness after Mr. Copeland?
He was, and I've just seen the same notification from
Okay.
Mr. Wright that you did.
Okay.
So, but I had reached the same conclusion that the court did regarding our likelihood of even reaching him.
Okay,
based on what we
but it
researched.
may be, so given that we're off Thursday, Friday and Monday, it would probably be Tuesday at the earliest.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe if you want to communicate that, that's when we anticipate reaching
I will.
him. Okay. All right, anything else? Okay.
Have the state, Your Honor.
All right, y'all use the extra hour to work on the case. Or just take a break from the case. See y'all at 8:40.